Picture this. You stroll into a bright, sunlit office, sit down with your morning coffee, and boom, you realize those incredibly complex, hair-pulling tasks you were absolutely dreading, they've already been handled overnight. Sounds a bit like sci-fi, right? Well, welcome to this explainer, because today we are tearing into a massive shift in artificial intelligence that is making this our actual reality. We are officially witnessing the dawn of the tenured partner. Look, for so long, the whole AI conversation has been stuck in these broad theories and far-off futures. But the real revolution, it's happening right now, literally on your desktop. We're moving away from treating AI like some temporary rented assistant and shifting toward an intelligence that learns the absolute exact contours of your day-to-day professional life. It's a game changer that's going to fundamentally rewire how we think about work, efficiency, and honestly our own professional value.
Okay, let's dive into this. Think about the thousands, literally thousands, of micro-actions you take every single week. The specific, nuanced way you format emails to that one particular client. Your exact, highly personalized coding preferences. The subtle little tweaks you make to reports right before you hit send. Now, what if that specific work history became the actual training data for your own private artificial general intelligence? We are blowing right past the era of generic, one-size-fits-all AI tools. Instead, your personal interaction history is actively building this unique, self-improving cognitive moat. Every single time you redirect the AI or feed it a little piece of proprietary context, you are training an intelligence that aligns more and more deeply with your own brain. It goes from just being a piece of software you click on into a deeply strategic asset that you actively cultivate over time.
To really see this in practice, let's look at a classic software workflow scenario. You've got a massive 10 a.m. client meeting. But yesterday afternoon, you pushed an update and, of course, experienced a massive cascading GitHub commit failure. We've all been there, right? Historically, that meant your entire morning was going to be an exercise in pure panic, frantically chugging coffee, combing through dependencies, just desperately trying to patch a broken pipeline before the client logs on. But in this new reality, you sit down and a clean little notification panel just slides out before you even touch the keyboard. Your AI recognized the failure, analyzed the error logs, rebuilt the entire pipeline overnight, and successfully deployed it. And to top it all off, it went ahead and drafted the technical brief explaining the fix, perfectly customized to the exact technical fluency of the client you're meeting with. Your morning isn't spent fixing broken code in a total panic anymore. It's spent reviewing, approving, and actually leading.
For years, we've basically treated AI like an amnesia intern. The standard chatbot is just fundamentally reactive. It's forgetful, it sits there silently in a browser tab doing absolutely nothing until you spoon-feed it an incredibly specific, highly engineered prompt. But the tenured partner? That represents a complete paradigm shift. It doesn't wait around. It operates way more like a veteran colleague who shared an office with you for the last 5 years. Because it actually possesses historical memory, it is inherently proactive. It anticipates your needs based on the rhythm of your week, it quietly monitors your software systems in the background, and it prepares solutions before you even realize, hey, there's a problem here. It fundamentally changes the entire relationship from this exhausting command and control dynamic to a seamless anticipate and align.
And this brilliantly illustrates the exact evolutionary shift we're experiencing right now. Just think about how insanely fast we've moved through these stages. Step 1 was the reactive tool, basically a fancy digital calculator. You punched in a prompt, you got an output, boom. Then we leveled up to step 2, the agentic worker. This was definitely a step up. You could give it a multi-step goal like, hey, research these 3 competitors, and it would go execute. But it still totally lacked deep, ongoing context. It didn't actually know why you were researching them. Step 3 bridges that massive gap. The tenured cognitive partner anticipates and it self-improves. It genuinely understands the overarching goals of your specific business unit. It actually learns from the feedback you gave it yesterday to deliver a way better result today. It transitions from this needy tool you have to constantly micromanage into a true core extension of your own professional capabilities.
We call this incredible setup cognitive infrastructure. And honestly, this concept completely redefines what AGI actually means in the context of the modern workspace. For so long, pop culture and those clickbait tech headlines have conditioned all of us to think AGI is going to be this lone, godlike supercomputer locked away in some distant, heavily guarded underground lab. But practically speaking, for the everyday professional, AGI isn't arriving as some giant monolithic entity. It's arriving as a living, breathing ecosystem built right on your desk. It is tailored precisely to your specific workflow, constructed brick by brick from your daily interaction history. Your localized cognitive infrastructure essentially becomes the intelligence layer sitting directly between you and the raw data of the world.
Now, I know you might be thinking, is this just a theoretical framework? Absolutely not. There are very real-world pivot points proving this out as we speak. Take the June 2026 launch of Perplexity Brain as a massive pivotal proof of concept. This release demonstrated totally undeniable metrics, showing massive leaps in both accuracy and proactive recall. By implementing a deep, localized memory system based entirely on user interaction history, the technology completely proved that an AI partner can practically and measurably improve its own performance day over day. And let me tell you, this is absolutely monumental because it basically eliminates the single most frustrating part of using AI today, that endless, soul-crushing reprompting loop. You no longer have to constantly remind the AI of who you are, what your company does, or what output format you like best. That context is permanently embedded.
Let's move to and see how this builds, because when you zoom out from that single individual cognitive moat, the implications get even more fascinating. Imagine an entire organization deploying hundreds or even thousands of these self-improving memory graphs. When you have these highly specialized AI agents cross-pollinating context across entire enterprise ecosystems, reading through Microsoft 365 documents, analyzing Teams transcripts, summarizing busy Slack channels, and querying massive corporate data warehouses, you trigger a literal hive mind effect. The enterprise itself begins to develop a true collective intelligence. Those individual, highly tailored workflows begin to weave together into this massive, interconnected enterprise brain that is constantly learning from every single employee, all at the exact same time.
And here's the absolute kicker. This completely solves one of the most painfully expensive problems in modern business today: brain drain. Look, when a senior software architect or a veteran strategist hands in their 2-week notice, they aren't just packing up their laptop and taking their favorite coffee mug. They are walking out the door with years of undocumented context, incredibly complex decision-making frameworks, and this deep, intuitive knowledge about how your company's systems actually work. But when their daily workflows, their brilliant little solutions to rare bugs, and their strategic preferences are integrated into the cognitive infrastructure, that institutional knowledge actually stops vanishing. It becomes securely locked inside the network's brain. The intelligence and context generated by that employee are practically immortalized, remaining fully accessible to the whole organization long after they've moved on to their next gig.
This whole dynamic is driving what analysts are calling the great corporate decoupling. The days of the heavy, agonizingly slow corporate org chart, they are rapidly coming to an end. We all know that traditional structure, right? Layers upon layers of endless middle management, heavily constrained by human bandwidth and totally frustrating communication bottlenecks. While that bloated pyramid is being rapidly replaced by incredibly sleek, agile networks, organizations are shifting hard toward highly leveraged human strategists who command these specialized AI agent grids. Moving forward, companies just won't automatically scale their output by aggressively adding headcount. Instead, they're going to scale by compounding their artificial intelligence, literally allowing a single human operator to drive the output of an entire department.
So the crucial point is that our entire definition of professional value is undergoing a massive, seismic shift. Get this. The value of a professional will no longer be measured by how many hours they spend typing or formatting documents. It will be judged by the quality of the cognitive system they build and oversee. That hits hard, doesn't it? If you just continue to treat AI as this generic novelty, or if you rely solely on brute force manual labor for complex digital tasks, your impact is inherently going to plateau. Your real career leverage, your true, undeniable value in this new landscape, lies entirely in how effectively you can curate, construct, and manage your own cognitive infrastructure to amplify your own strategic thinking. Navigating this requires an entirely new mindset from all of us. We are moving from simply managing isolated little tasks to genuinely leading a proactive, deeply integrated organizational partner. The tools we use are no longer these forgetful whiteboards that wipe themselves clean every time we close a browser tab. They are accumulating deep context, they're tracking intricate patterns, and they're building a permanent record of our strategic intent. Acknowledging this reality forces us to step up in a big way. We are no longer just operators blindly pressing buttons, we are directors orchestrating a deeply sophisticated, ever-present digital memory. The age of cognitive infrastructure has officially arrived. It is time to stop viewing AI as just a simple, reactive calculator, and start building your own self-improving cognitive moat today. Harness your interaction history, build your tenured partner, and deeply leverage your own intelligence. But as this collective enterprise brain really takes shape, it leaves us with one final profound reality to face. The tools are no longer forgetful. So, as professionals, are you truly ready to lead an intelligence that never forgets?